Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second video, second example video, the third overall video for section 4 of chapter 2 in your McGraw-Hill geometry textbook. This particular video is going to focus on examples of law of syllogism. So these questions are multiple choice. There are only two of them, so this will be a short video. We are going to be checking to see whether or not the pattern can be followed for law of syllogism. So just as a reminder, our second law of deductive reasoning, the law of syllogism, is made up of three statements, the first two being givens, the third being the conclusion. The first statement has to say if P, then Q. The second statement has to say if Q, then R. And that allows you to draw the conclusion if P, then R. Very similar to the transitive property from algebra, which you may or may not have heard of because we're teaching geometry to freshmen who have not had Algebra 1 this year. Okay, but it has to follow this pattern exactly. Your first two statements, which are the givens up here in your problem, have to match the pattern if P then Q, if Q then R, or else there is no valid conclusion that can be drawn. So, the first statement says, if you like musicals, so P is you like musicals, then you enjoy theater productions. So Q would be you enjoy theater productions. This means that the next line has to start with if you enjoy theater productions. And it does, so we're okay there. Then you are an actor. So there's your R. You are an actor. So you'll notice how we're following the pattern perfectly through the givens, which means we need to pick the statement that matches our third, okay, that matches this conclusion right here. If P, then R. Okay? So we go down here and we say, all right, it means we need to find the statement that starts with if you like musicals, and the only one that does is statement C. And it should end with then you are an actor, which it does. That makes statement C the valid conclusion, and that's the one that we would select. Okay, let's do another one. Again, we notice that both of our given statements are if-then statements. So since they are both if-then statements, that means we're supposed to check the law of syllogism. Once again, that law of syllogism is two givens and a conclusion, all of which are if-then statements. The first given is if P, then Q. The second given has to be if Q, then R, which would then allow you to draw the conclusion if P, then R. And again, it has to, repeat, has to follow that pattern exactly. It cannot deviate at all from that pattern. Okay? Your first two statements, your givens, have to match that pattern. So we go and we check that. We say to ourselves, okay, if you do not get enough sleep, so you do not get enough sleep is your P value, then you will be tired is your Q. Which means the second statement needs to start with some statement about tired. If you are tired, we're good there. It matches the pattern. Then you will not do well on the test. So because the two givens match the pattern, there is a valid argument to be drawn. It should start with if you do not get enough sleep, which is the only example there is B, then you will not do well on the test. Notice that statement B is the one that matches our pattern. That is the correct answer to this question. That does it for our law of syllogism examples. Our next video is actually going to take away the scaffolding of knowing which law we're going to do, and is going to refer back to the idea that we understand that there is a pattern that we follow here. Okay? We look to see if the original two givens are if-then statements. If they are, we check law of syllogism. If they are not, we check law of detachment. Either way, if the pattern of our three statements does not perfectly match one of those two patterns, it is an invalid argument. So we got one video to go. Thank you for your time.